since the Wii U, everyone has been clamoring to get the GameCube on a virtual console or something like that. And honestly, I don't think we'll ever see a virtual console that's solely GameCube stuff. Now, I will say now that the Switch is out and there's the Switch Online, I also don't think there's going to be a GameCube Online like there is the Nintendo 64 and everything else that's on the Switch Online, purely because I think Nintendo knows that they can basically print money if all they do is just port GameCube games to the Switch. Just look at Paper Mario Thousand Year Door that just came out recently. Absolutely did numbers just when they announced it. They actually had to cancel pre-orders because people were getting so many of them. So it makes me wonder, will Nintendo ever go back to the kind of virtual console aspect where you could say, hey, I'll give you $10 for this game that you published 20 years ago? Or are we going to keep getting Paper Mario Thousand Year Door-esque remakes where we're getting ports of the games with some alternates or something changing in it, but paying $60, $70, who knows what it's going to cost in the future, but I think they did it right with the virtual console. However, I am a huge proponent of the Switch Online, purely because with the Switch Online, not only are you getting that online service, you're also getting a ton of games. If you just pull up the actual Switch Online and scroll, you can scroll for quite a long time looking at games, and it just blows my mind that Nintendo is selling it for so cheap. Now, I've talked about this a little bit on the channel before. A lot of people love to complain about how expensive the Switch Online is, and I don't think that's the case, purely because of the games that it comes with. Now, I know it's expensive because prior to that, you never had to pay for Switch or Nintendo stuff online. However, to keep the servers up and running and all the crazy games you get with it, like just look at this. Just look at how many games there are. Obviously, it's not loading for whatever reason, but there's probably 200 games maybe on the Switch Online. Don't quote me on that. I might have to fix that in the editing if it's way wrong. But I think the Switch Online is an awesome thing, but I think that GameCube games are going to get their ports because Nintendo knows how to print money, and I understand, and I'm okay with it, because if this game, which is worth around $100 on the GameCube, is released for the Switch for $60, you can take it on the go. Probably plays a little bit better. I'm still playing my way through it, so if there's something wrong with it that I haven't got to, comment down below and let me know, because I'd like to know that. But I think the GameCube is a system that could really sell the Switch too. And I'm saying that for a few good reasons. Now, whenever the Switch was released, you really didn't get a virtual console anytime soon. It took a while. I want to say like till 2019 maybe, but it was way after release, which was kind of a shame because when the Switch came out, it was a Zelda machine, and I don't want the Switch 2 to be exactly that because I don't want it to fail. Now, Switch coming out with Zelda being a Zelda machine worked out because Zelda Breath of the Wild was an absolutely amazing game, but I don't know if they would have released Tears of the Kingdom and the Switch 2 at the same time if it would have done as well, but both of those games are absolutely amazing and definitely well worth picking up. If you haven't played them, you definitely should. But I think it's time we talk about some GameCube games that I would love to see put on the Switch 2, whatever it is. I don't care. As long as we get to play them in a portable form factor, I'm probably going to be pretty happy. There's some expensive games here, some inexpensive games. Games I think that could definitely benefit from having the remake or port aspect to it. We're going to start off with Star Fox. We got Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Adventures. Either one of these I think would be a ton of fun. If we got both of these in one game, yeah, I would absolutely love that. These games are awesome. Some people don't like these, but I came into both of these games just looking to have fun, and so I was not disappointed there. A game that I don't know if it would ever happen, but it would be a ton of fun if it did, is Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2. Now, there's been a ton, probably at least like 10, maybe more Star Wars games ported to the Switch, so if you're paying attention, Nintendo, come on now. There's some real big heavy hitters I don't want to talk about quite yet, but imagine if Donkey Konga came to the Switch. This game would be so much fun. The Switch already has a ton of awesome rhythm games, and I think this is one that needs to come to the Switch, or maybe like do something where this works with Taiko no Tatsujin or something. Come on, Nintendo. We need Donkey Konga or Donkey Jungle Beat to come back. Like, you're messing up here if you're not doing that. Again, Super Mario Strikers, I think, is an obvious one. The one that came to the Switch, Battle League, just, it wasn't this. Let's be real here. None of the Mario sports games really were as good as the GameCube versions or other systems, so I'd love to see this come to the Switch. It would be absolutely amazing, and I think it would sell a ton of copies, and there's just more I've got to talk about here. I'm looking down. We've got Mario Kart Double Dash, probably my favorite Mario Kart game ever, probably the best one when it comes to like innovation and whatnot, or Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8 Double or Deluxe, it is what it is. That's actually like what we were talking about, a Wii U game, still like 12 years later being loved, and I understand why, but come on, Nintendo, do something else. What about Pokemon Coliseum? I think this game would just be crazy. We've got Pokemon Stadium on the Nintendo 64, but Pokemon Coliseum would be wild, especially if you could play like online or something like that with this game. Definitely worth picking up. I can't talk about the GameCube without Zelda Wind Waker now. Twilight Princess is also on the system, but you know what I'm talking about here. I don't really have to talk much. Now, this did get a, guess what? Wii U port, so why haven't we gotten it ported to the Switch? I don't know. And last but not least, there's a ton of other GameCube games I could have talked about, but I wanted to kind of try to keep this short and sweet, so if there's something else you want to comment down below and let me know, or if there's something from my collection I should have talked about, let me know. But if we're saving money here because Paper Mario 1000 Year Door was super expensive and it's not as expensive on the Switch, Path of Radiance, come on now. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. This game is insane and is insanely expensive. I think a copy like this is like $300 or $400, which blows my mind. If this was $100 on the Switch instead of the normal $60, I think people would still buy it and absolutely go wild for it. So, Nintendo, if you're listening, which we all know you are, come on now. These GameCube games need to be ported, whether it's on the Switch online or sold individually. I'm going to buy them. You know it. We know it. Everyone knows it here. If you put great GameCube games on the Switch, people are going to go out and spend their money. So, Nintendo, it's time. Just do it. Come on. What are you waiting for? But, again, that's all I think about this. GameCube games need to come to the Switch or the Switch 2. We've got a few good ones coming here. But I'd like to see a virtual console, maybe, so I'm not spending $60 each. But at the same time, I'd rather pay $60 and be able to take it portably than have to sit at home playing on the GameCube. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I love playing GameCube games, but I love to see GameCube games go out to people that can't afford them. So I would love to see that. But what do you think? Would Nintendo ever do this? How will they handle it? All that stuff. Comment down below and let me know. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm kind of been thinking about picking up Mario Strikers and making a video out of it, because I've really been itching to be playing it lately, and I haven't for a long time. But let me know what you think. I'm going to get out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.